What's up, friends? It's a beautiful Monday afternoon, or actually, I guess it's still early morning. I'm going to be sending this out to you guys in a little bit here. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about our memory verse to get us primed with our religion nugget for the week. So, today we're talking about race, and not the Hispanic or white or Anglo or that kind of race. We're talking about a race that Jesus sets before us from our memory verse from Hebrews chapter 12. If you guys have a Bible, you should open it up and follow along. Highlight this one. This is one that's going to be kind of circling around your Christian life for a good long time, hopefully. So it's Hebrews chapter 12, verses 1 and 2, and it says, "And let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God." So this is telling us that Jesus wants us to run a race. I mean, one of the big things that I missed out on this Easter, by the way, happy Easter. Hope you guys all had a fantastic, even though it was gloomy and rainy yesterday, had a fantastic Easter celebrating our risen King. But Jesus is telling us that he wants us to run this race with perseverance, from start to finish, nonstop, go all the way to the end. But the catch is that he wants us to fix our eyes on him. The guy who made our faith possible, the guy who took the cross, and not only took the cross, the painful, excruciating cross, but took the cross with a certain amount of joy. Seems backwards, right? Seems backwards to think that nails in a hand would bring somebody joy, that hanging on a cross until you can't breathe anymore and you suffocate brings somebody joy. But for Jesus, because he knew what the end game was, he knew that that was actually not just joy for him, but joy for us as well. Speaking of race, one time I ran a half marathon. I know what you're thinking. You're too fat to have run a half marathon, but I wasn't always this large. I used to be in really good shape, and running a half marathon was something that me and Mrs. Brown really wanted to do, especially since her parents were really, really into running marathons. So we all four put our heads together, me and Mrs. Brown and her mom and her stepdad. We all put our heads together and said, we're going to go to Las Vegas, Nevada, and we're all going to run a half marathon. That's 13.1 miles. That's a lot of miles, right? And I was determined. I was determined that I was going to win this race. I know that that's far-fetched, right? I was determined that I was going to win this race. I was going to run it. So I practiced and I practiced and I practiced. And I ran and I ran and I ran around our house when we lived in Arizona. We had a track that was mapped out for us where we would run, and we got up to like, I think 14 or 15 miles. We went above the 13.1 miles just so that we would be ready for what we were going to experience in Las Vegas. Well, running our race in Las Vegas, running our practice laps in Arizona did not make us ready for the race in Nevada, because I wasn't even expecting it. But once we got there, it was chaos. There were thousands upon thousands of people running, and I had a bib number, and I was like herded like a cattle into these starting lines, and you were in the right area, and there was chips that you had to put, like memory chips on your feet that would like mark off when you were going through the right area. It was wild. It was insane. Not only that, but guys, we're in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm not sure what you know about Las Vegas, but there were so many things to see. So many things to see. I'm running, and at one point we're running right down the middle of the Las Vegas Strip, right? So there's a casino, and there is a pyramid, and there are flashing lights. And I don't know if you guys know me, but I'm a pretty distractible person. So I'm running, right? And I'm trying to focus on my time and my breathing, and I'm looking and I'm going, oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, look at that big, huge fountain at the Bellagio. Water shooting 200 feet up in the air. Look at that pyramid, the Luxor, with a spotlight coming right out of the top. Needless to say, my times and my practice were significantly faster. Don't even consider just running those times and trying to keep from being distracted because of all of the scenery. Guys, I'm running in Las Vegas, Nevada. When I'm running, there's a guy in a Big Bird costume who passed me. A Big Bird costume. I saw a guy with a stroller, and I was like, oh my goodness, he's running this race with a baby. It wasn't a baby. It wasn't a baby at all. He had a stroller that was full of beer. Yeah. So needless to say, it was tough for me to keep my eyes focused on the finish line. It was tough for me to focus on what I needed to do to accomplish my goal of meeting my right time. That's the kind of race that Jesus is talking about today too. In the world that we live in, there's so many different distractions. There's so many different things around us that we could look at and go, ooh, that's cool, that's pretty. Ooh, that's cool, that's pretty. But in the very second part, like the second, right after the first comma, it says, let us run the race with perseverance that's marked out for us, and we should fix our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith. Fix our eyes on Jesus. Jesus is the finish line. We're supposed to be running this race from start to finish, not stopping, not necessarily pausing, not looking, not getting distracted. We're supposed to keep our eyes focused on Him, who for joy took the cross for us. That's how we finish the race. That's how we respond to what He did for us, is we can just keep going and keep running and keep living and keep reflecting the gospel that He has shown to us. And guys, we're going to fail. We're going to get distracted by this thing and that thing, by the Big Bird costumes in our lives, by the big pyramids off to the right side and the left side of us. We're going to get distracted. But when we can fix our eyes on Jesus and what He's done for us, not just this Easter season through His death and resurrection, but always through His death and resurrection for what He's done for us. If we can fix our eyes on that end goal, if we can stay focused on that, ladies and gentlemen, that's where the victory happens. That's when we can really echo the love that He has, the joy. Guys, can you imagine again, just one time, what it means that Jesus found joy in the excruciating cross for us. Found joy. I'm thinking, I find joy whenever I drive my car, right? I find joy when I eat pizza. I find joy when I sit with my family and we hang out. Jesus found joy in dying for you and for me. That is awesome. That is humbling. And when we can keep our eyes focused on that, man, the race becomes easier. Running with perseverance, running with stamina, running with excitement, this race, this journey of life, way easier. So I gave the little kids a challenge, and I kind of want to see what you guys come up with, whether it's a bike race or a foot race or something like that, between you and your family, between you and your siblings, whatever it may look like, whatever it may feel like. I want to see what you guys can come up with. So here's the challenge that I gave them, and I want you guys to take it and go above and beyond, get creative. So once you're done with your schoolwork today, I want you to go and map out a racetrack, whether it's on your property, in your backyard, down your street, somewhere safe, obviously, right? But I want you and your family to go and run this race, okay? And I want to know who wins. So please, check that out, try that challenge, and remember, keep your eyes fixed on Jesus. Not in just this race that we're going to run this afternoon with bikes and with fast running and speed and all that stuff, but the race of life, the journey of life that we're all on. Keep our eyes focused on Him, the author and perfecter of our faith. Amen? Amen. All right, friends. Well, I will see you guys on Wednesday for some chapel action. I can't wait. It's going to be a good one. See you then. Love y'all.